We got some major breaking news as it was just announced that Hendrick Motorsports has won their appeal and their points penalty has been rescinded. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, Hendrick Motorsports has kind of won their appeal and their points penalty has been amended. It has been announced that the L2 penalty has been amended from Hendrick Motorsports. The fines and suspensions that currently remain for the crew chiefs at the moment is going to stay. So there's still 2 weeks of the crew chief suspension at the moment for the 4 current crew chiefs at Hendrick Motorsports, but the fines also remain as well. But like I just said a second ago, the points are completely back at all 4 Hendrick Motorsports cars. That means that Alex Bowman is now in first position in the points. William Byron jumps to about 24th to 3rd in the points, and Kyle Larson jumps from 27th all the way up to 9th in the points, now putting them all in the playoffs. And also William Byron has now got 13 playoff points, and the other 2 drivers now have their playoff points back as well at Hendrick Motorsports. So let's talk about this. Hendrick Motorsports also released statements saying that they're really happy with the decision made, and they're really happy that they basically have won their appeals. NASCAR has released a statement very recently, and they have said that they are disappointed with the decision today. They feel like the points penalty should have been upheld, considering that the appeals panel actually agreed that Hendrick Motorsports did violate the rules that NASCAR did make, but they're also disappointed they got their points penalty back, and it will be basically scrutinized in the garage a lot more. I will say this, I am a little bit surprised that Hendrick Motorsports has won their appeal because it is in the NASCAR rulebook they are not supposed to modify these cars. However, Hendrick Motorsports in this situation did have a couple cases. Number one, compared to RFK Racing, who did lose their appeal, Stewart Haas Racing, and Forward Motorsports, all of theirs is found post-race and in the R&D Center. With Hendrick Motorsports, they got to practice the car, but they never qualified or raced with the said louvers. So that helps Hendrick Motorsports a little bit. And number two, from what we understand, there's been issues with the parts on the next-gen car, especially with the louvers, and some of the parts that NASCAR has been handing over to teams have not been up to specific point, have not been up to the correct form. So the teams have had to modify it in a sense to make it up to the correct form. So they're at a little bit of disadvantage, and that's why they have to go ahead and modify them. Look, like I said, I am a little bit shocked and surprised. And I've seen a lot of people on social media getting really pissed off in NASCAR. Well, I want everyone to understand one thing. Number one, when it comes to appeal board, NASCAR does not run the appeals board. I want everyone to understand that. The thing that needs to be remembered is that the appeals board is run by an independent group. The people that ran the appeals panel, one of them was on the RFK appeal, which surprised me a little bit that Hendrick did end up winning their appeal in some ways. But you also have Bill Lester on that appeals panel as well, and that's what happened there. And NASCAR is very frustrated because they want these penalties upheld. And this is also now the second time that Hendrick Motorsports has technically gone on and won an appeal. Remember last year after Texas Motor Speedway, when William Byron and Denny Hamlin had some contact, basically going down the front stretch under caution. William Byron intentionally wrecked Denny Hamlin down under caution, and basically Denny Hamlin didn't basically get his points back, and basically William Byron got a 25-point penalty, but that penalty got rescinded, and basically the fines were increased, but basically that penalty was decreased on the points side of things. This is now the second time that Hendrick Motorsports has won an appeal. So now the big question goes around is, will Kaulig Racing win their appeal? I would have to imagine that yes, because of the fact Hendrick Motorsports has won their appeal, I would have to imagine a Kaulig Racing, considering they only have one louver confiscated and not both their louvers confiscated, and only one car confiscated with the louvers. I would have to imagine at this particular moment that we are going to see Kaulig Racing end up winning their appeal. I don't think anything's going to change on that front. I think that you're going to see Kaulig Racing go ahead and win their appeal. And again, I do agree with the decision, though, to give the points back. I'm going to say that. I do agree with the decision to give the points back to Hendrick Motorsports, to all the drivers, and I'll explain why. The drivers had nothing to do with touching the next-gen car. It was the engineers, it was the crew chiefs. I understand the crew chiefs keeping their suspensions and the fines continuing. I also, in my opinion, wouldn't have given all 100 points back, though. I would have probably reduced it maybe down to 50 points, give 50 of their points back where they'd be a little bit closer. But now they're back in hunt for the regular season championship. And this changes the season once again because, like I mentioned already, Alex Bowman, once again, is now the current points leader. And I will say this as well, that you put all 3 guys now back in the championship hunt as well, and they all now can win the regular season championship. Hendrick Motorsports, like I said, is very happy. NASCAR is definitely mad about it, but also this has been a situation where some of the specs of the parts that have been coming in have had some issues, and apparently the louvers have been a major problem when it comes to that. in my honest opinion, I am not a little surprised that they kind of did end up winning their appeal. They didn't fully win their appeal per se because they still have the fines and they still do have the suspensions. But basically, Hendrick Motorsports gotten all their points back, which I would have to imagine it going forward unless NASCAR does change it. And I would have to imagine NASCAR might be in conversation to change it because they've already changed the penalties a little bit and they changed the ruling over the offseason back in January. But I am a little surprised and a little bit shocked in a sense that they did end up basically completely almost winning their appeal. Again, as a Hendrick Motorsports, a lot of people are going to think, oh, it's Hendrick favoritism, but NASCAR does not favor Hendrick Motorsports. And again, NASCAR was not the one in control of the appeals. It's an appeals panel. It's an independent appeals panel, and they're the ones that do go ahead and control that. So don't get mad at NASCAR. Get mad at basically the appeals panel if you're going to be mad at somebody. But I do agree in some sense, like I said, of giving the points back to Hendrick Motorsports. But I do agree the points, the fines stay up. And I don't think the drivers should be affected because I think it should be the same thing for there. And I do agree that with a situation where there's communication breakdown because, like I said already, there's been issues with communication on NASCAR's side and on NASCAR's front. And I think this might be the right call. Some people are going to disagree with me, but this is probably the right call. And I will have more to cover as time goes on. More does decide to come out. We'll have more to cover as time goes on, and we'll be waiting on that going forward. So Hendrick Motorsports has gone and won their appeal, and they have won their appeal quintessentially. So that's going to be for today's special news NASCAR news report. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications on so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below for that, and comment below your thoughts below on today's video. Do you think Hendrick Motorsports penalties should have been rescinded or not? Let me know in the comments below. And do you agree with the decision from the appeals board or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have basically the race picks for the NASCAR Cup Series race at Richmond Raceway. Should be an exciting weekend. Then on Friday, we're going to have NASCAR news video. We got a couple news stories we're going to discuss on the channel, including the Daniel Suarez penalties, because those are coming later today, but I'm going to wait till Friday to discuss that. And then also, we will be talking about some other stuff, including Kurt Busch around on Friday. Then on Saturday, we're going to have the NASCAR Xfinity Series and NASCAR Xfinity Series and Truck Series race reviews from Richmond and Texas. And then finally, on Sunday, we'll have the NASCAR starting lineup for the Cup race at Richmond Raceway, and also the race review from the Cup race at Richmond as well. And then Monday, we'll have a NASCAR news video on the channel as well for you guys to watch. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content. Got some really fun stuff on the way that I think you're really going to enjoy. Again, I'll also announce this as well. I got a silly season video that is dropping very, very soon as well. I'll be doing that sometime in early April. We're getting close to April now. It's almost time to talk about that, and I'm looking forward to release that sometime in April. So I'll see you guys there. Got a lot of fun content on the way. I cannot wait for you guys to check it out here very, very soon. Beginning a lot of traction, a lot of subscribers as of recently, and your guys' support has been absolutely incredible. So thank you guys for your continued support, and I'll see you guys for some more awesome content coming out here very, very soon. Take care, everybody.